What's up?
Welcome to the Great
Hey,
Vine.
welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Hey,
How-
hey.
How are you doing, people? I'm letting
Welcome.
them answer. It's okay. Get it out. Okay. All right, we're done. All right. Well, welcome back
Hold
to the
on.
Grapevine. Oh,
Alex, there's one more thing.
yes.
Did you bring your gerbil?
Oh, did you bring
Oh!
did you bring your dog, your hamster, your gerbil?
We
You
did
didn't.
say last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't. Go get them and bring them in.
Bring him in.
Starting. We are starting. Look,
We
we've
are
got
starting.
4 chapters to do. I think a few of them are kind of short, but so let's just dive right in. You ready?
I'm ready to dive right on in, man.
All
Let's
right.
get to it. Hey.
I'm gonna go ahead and start us off this time.
All right.
Okay, so here we are, Mark chapter 13. And as he came out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what wonderful stones and wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? There will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." And as he sat on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when all these things are about to be accomplished?" And Jesus began to say to them, "See that no one leads you astray. Many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and they will lead many astray." When you
Be
hear
careful on this. Yeah.
yeah, yep. And when you hear wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. These are but the beginning of the birth pains.
Oh.
But be on your guard, for they will deliver you over to councils, and you will be beaten in synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake, to bear witness before them. And the gospel must first be proclaimed to all nations. And when they bring you to trial and deliver you over, do not be anxious beforehand what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour, for it is not you who speak, but the Holy Spirit. And brother will deliver brother over to death, and father his child, and children rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but the one who endures to the end will be saved.
Wow.
That's intense, man. This is getting really intense.
For sure. I think a lot of people talk about that today.
Yeah.
That scripture alone, talking about rumors of wars and wars.
Yeah.
You know,
We're
that's
seeing-
a lot of what's going on today.
Yeah, we're seeing that more and more. Continuing on, verse 14. But when you see the abomination of desolation standing where he ought not to be, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let the one who is on the housetop not go down, nor enter his house to take anything out, and let no one who is in the field not turn back to take his cloak. And alas, for women who are pregnant, and for those who are nursing infants in those days, pray that it may not happen in winter, for in those days there will be such tribulation as has not been from the beginning of the creation that God created until now. It never will be. And if the Lord had not cut short the days, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he shortened the days. And then if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Christ," or "Look, there he is," do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform signs and wonders to lead astray, if possible, the elect. But be on guard. I have told you all things beforehand. Verse 24. But in those days after that tribulation, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. And then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. I was about to say something. I read something the other day that speaking of the sun, like sunshine, When we're in heaven, there's not going to be basically daytime or nighttime because there's not going to be a sun or a moon. We're going to get light literally from God Himself, God's radiance.
Oh
Like
wow.
that's what's going to illuminate heaven
Yeah.
or the new earth. And I'm like, that's going to be interesting because right now the sun shines. Obviously, we know the moon reflects the sun, and just kind of basic there. But um, if there is no sun, obviously there's no light. But then there's the moon doesn't reflect that light. So, anyways, thought that was kind of cool. Verse 28: From the fig tree, learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts out its leaves, you know that summer is near. See also, when you see these things taking place, you know that He is near, at the very gates. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Verse 32: But concerning that day or that hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, keep awake, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey when he leaves home and puts his servants in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to stay awake. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or when the rooster crows, or in the morning, lest he come suddenly and find you asleep. What I say to you, I say to all, stay awake.
Oh, stay woke. Stay
Yeah.
woke. Yes,
So,
sir.
um, that just instantly makes me think of the lost son too. Now
Oh
we're
yeah.
flipping the story where the master leaves the house. I don't mean flipping the lost son story, but as far as roles goes, so the master leaves the house and says, "Hey, be on guard, stay awake. I'll return," but he doesn't say when. That's like
Yeah.
that's us. We need to be spiritually ready and staying ready, and so when he returns, we're ready. And I think that's part of the reason we
Per
don't
day.
know. Yeah, that's part of the reason we don't know when he's going to return. Is because people would wait to the last second to quote unquote get ready. Like, oh, tomorrow's the day.
Better get saved now.
Let's say our prayers and take communion. Like,
I
no,
better
like,
believe now. Like all or never.
yeah, yeah. So we just don't know. We don't know when. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you want to pick it up in chapter 14?
Absolutely. Boy, that was quick. We
Yeah,
knocked that one out.
yeah.
Good job.
These are pretty short ones.
Yeah. So chapter 14. Whew.
Mm,
This is good stuff right here.
here they come.
Oh, I don't even want to get. Well, we might as well get started. All right, 14. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the feast of unlavished bread, unleavened bread.
Hmm.
And the chief priest and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him. Oh, son, they
Mm,
always on one, trying to do this, trying to do that.
yeah.
For they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be an uproar from the people." Fair enough. They didn't want to go too crazy out here.
Yeah.
Verse 3. And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining at the table, a woman came with reclining at table. A woman came with a alabaster flask of ointment
Hmm.
of pure nard, very costly. And she broke the flask and poured it over his head. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, "Why was the anointment wasted like that? Why was the anointment wasted like that?" Oh, son. Well, I love when Jesus answers.
Hmm.
Um, for this anointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Oh, come on, Jesus. He said, "Leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. For you have always for you always have the poor with you. Whenever you want, you can do good for them, but you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial. And truly, I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the world, what she has done will be told in memory of her."
Hmm.
He said, "Write this down. We're going to get this memory down."
Yeah, that's interesting. I never caught the fact that she's anointing him before his burial. Now she may not have. She didn't know that, I would say. But
Yeah.
what she is doing is um, basically showing her devotion, because like the people were noticing that's 100 denarii or denarii. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money. It's worth a lot of money. Like, some scholars say she saved up. She would have saved that money. That's a year's worth, I believe, of wages.
Yeah.
And here she is just pouring it out and wasting it. Well, they're missing the point, and she's wanting to symbolize this. What's the word I'm looking for? Not devotion. The sacrifice, I guess, for Jesus. That's still not the word I'm looking for, but she's doing this great thing, and people are missing the point. But then Jesus also says he's being anointed beforehand before burial, because he knows he's going to die soon.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, a lot of cool stuff there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Verse 10.
Mm.
Oh, son.
You know it's
Verse
coming.
10. I know it's coming.
You
I
know
don't
it's
like that
coming.
it's coming, but I know it's coming. Then Judas, aristocrat, who
Iscariot.
was Iscariot. I've been
Jesus,
saying,
Judas the Democrat, dadgummit.
"Hey, brother, I didn't know this Bible was so accurate." Betraying people? Sounds about right.
Oh goodness. Let's get back to it before we get
I
too
better
political.
stop.
No, just
We love y'all.
go ahead, brother.
Regardless. And Judas, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priest in order to betray him.
Key word was. Sorry.
Who
I mean,
he was one of the 12.
he was. He was.
To betray
Anyways.
him. Betray them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. And he sought an opportunity to betray him. We're talking about opportunity to betray who? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Verse 15. And on the first day of unleavened bread.
Verse 12.
Oh, my bad. 12. What did I say? 15?
You said 15. I was like, hold up. Yeah.
Well, he's skipping around. Talking about aristocrats. Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Where were you at?
Verse 12, if you want to.
When they sacrificed the Passover lamb, his disciples said to him, "Where will you have us go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?"
Hmm.
No doubt. He's thinking ahead. He's trying to.
Yeah. He's always thinking about food. Jesus, what are we going to eat? What are we going to feed these people?
They really do be thinking about food.
I mean, it's culture, man. It's our culture.
For sure.
Fish
and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to get their vitamin E or C.
Vitamin E.
I don't even know that's a vitamin. Surely there's something in there. Verse 13. And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the master of the house, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he will show you a large upper room, furnished and ready. There, prepare for us. And
Mm.
the disciples set out and went to the city and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared for the Passover. So Jesus is like, listen, okay, guys, dude carrying a big old jug of water, and he's wearing a black shirt. No, I'm just kidding. Guy in a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Like, he's very specific. He's carrying water. He will show you to
Yeah.
the house. And then when he shows you to the house, tell him, where's my guest room? The teacher says, where's my guest room? Where am I eat the Passover with my disciples?
Mm.
Dang. Jesus already knows. He already knows.
Yeah.
Then verse 17. And when it was evening, he came with the 12, and they were reclining at table and eating. Jesus said, truly I say to you, one of you will betray me. One who is eating with me. Is it me, Jesus? I'll continue on. Verse 19. They began to be sorrowful and said to him, one after another, is it I? He said to them, it is one of the 12, one who is dipping bread into the dish with me. For the Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for the man if he had not been born.
Mm.
Dang. Judas over here dipping his bread in the. He's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? The difference between this and how it says it in Matthew. I'm trying to make sure we didn't just read it. It's kind of. I feel like Mark so far has been more like straight to the point. There's not. I'm not saying there's not details. There's just different details. Anyways, there's a I know I talked about it in Matthew, but when it says, I'm trying to think of it right. Peter motions to basically to another disciple, which is believed to be John, uh, the one whom Jesus loved, is how it's put. But maybe it's in John. Now I'm mixing up. No, it's got to be Matthew because we've read Matthew already. Anyways,
Yeah.
and it says he reclines back against Jesus, like he leans up against him. I think that verse is so cool. You know, because it just shows like you don't just lean back up against anybody. You lean back against someone who you're close to. You know, who you trust. You know, it's just that imagery
Yeah.
is kind of cool. Anyways, it didn't mention it here, but it just I was kind of looking for it, but because Peter's like, hey, ask him who the crap he's talking about. What's he? You know, Peter's like freaking out. Is it me? You know. But anyways, go ahead. I like that
No,
that's there.
that imagery, yeah. A true friend. It's
Yeah.
like, that's like, okay, someone posts something on Snapchat and it's all this stuff, and you're like, you swipe down or swipe up. It's like, was you talking about me, bro, boy? Like, let me know. I'll change.
Yeah.
I'll
People
change right now.
fake out in these streets, cool. Like, I'm not. I'm one.
Remember supper last week? Like, are we still cool? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Remember how I got you gas money because you gave me a ride or whatever?
Yeah. Remember when you broke down? I showed up and got you
Yeah. I
gas.
got you the tire iron that you needed.
Yes.
Change your tire.
Yeah. Am I the fake one? Like, that's how they probably felt. Like, for sure, for sure. All right. Verse 22. Brother, I think this is where we get a lot of good stuff here. So what is it? It's pass hour? Not pass hour. Passover?
The passing hour.
Passing. I think that's a horror movie. Verse 22.
That
And as
does
they were
sound like a
eating.
horror movie. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
It took me a minute to register that. That's funny.
And as they were eating, he took bread, and after blessing it, broke it, and gave it to them, and said, take this is my body. And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he said to them, This is my blood of the covenant. Oh wait, hold on. I just totally skipped a whole verse. He took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they drank of it. Verse 24. And he said to them, This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many. Verse 25. Truly I say to you, I will not drink again of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Hey!
Grapevine. Hey.
Wait, the disciples were drinking wine? Must be okay to get turnt on the weekends then, right?
For sure. That's what that means.
Friggin' lit. No.
I had this conversation, and would Jesus drink wine?
Yeah.
Was he getting turned with the boys on a Saturday night too?
Yeah. Jesus
Driving?
also sacrificed himself for all of humanity. You gonna do that too? Oh!
Dang, son.
Freaking wrecked.
No doubt.
I don't even want to get into that conversation.
I don't either. I really
He
don't.
also
We
said
into it.
he also said, I will not drink wine again or drink from the vine, however he says it in the Bible, but until my return. It's like
until that day when I
really,
drink it new in the kingdom of God.
Oh, we
being new wine.
So, yeah, yes. Yeah. Oh, and maybe duh, he says it in the next verse. Or did we already read it?
Kinda.
25. Yeah.
Truly I say to you, I will not drink again of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it in the new kingdom of God.
Literally what we just read. Okay.
Yeah.
Myself.
We on it.
Yeah. So he does the Passover, or the Passover. Good Lord. Yes. I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until that day.
And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives.
They be
and
singing.
Jesus said to them, they really do be singing.
They be using
They're using their vocal cords.
Hey!
Yeah. Let's get it.
Y'all thought we were making this stuff up.
No, I told you about them vocal cords.
Bruh.
I told you. All right. Well, they be singing hymns at the Mount of Olives. And Jesus said to them, you will fall away. You will all fall away. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I am raised, I will go before you to Galilee. Peter said to him, even though all fall away, I will not. I won't fall away, Jesus.
I'm your ride or die, son.
That's right. And you know what Jesus said to him? He said to him, truly, I say to you, this very night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. Dang. Oh, my ride or die? Jesus is over here going, For real? That's on cap? No, you are not the ride or die.
Yeah.
3 times.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
Verse
31. But he said emphatically, if I must die with you.
Emphatically.
Oh, emphatically?
With emphasis, basically.
Oh,
he's like trying to solidify his point. He's like, no, Jesus, if I must die with you, I will not deny you. And they all said the same after him. Sorry, I stole your verse. But
No, you're good. We are still trucking along. Verse 32. Hey, here comes the train. Choo choo. Hopefully you ain't got Peter on that train. He gonna derail that dude 3 times.
I'd rather have Peter than Judas. Hey!
Oh! Dang. Cop out. All right, we better get back on here. 32. And they went to a place called Gethsemane. Oh my goodness. I about said Gethsemane. Brother, you're gonna help a friend out. You got HBO discount.
Gethsemane.
Help a brother out. Gethsemane. Hey. Yeah. I've heard that so many times.
You know what that word means?
What does it mean?
It means something to the effect of pressed grapes. or crushed grapes.
grapes. Oh, crushed grapes.
If you think about what we're about to read, Jesus basically praying so hard that he bleeds, from his pores.
Yeah.
It's almost like a crushed grape, or just so much pressure on him that he is literally bleeding. But when you think of the process of making wine, you have to crush grapes to be able to do that. So, like, dude, the imagery is insane. New wine, you know, uh, just coming out of that Passover that they just had, or the communion. So, anyways, that symbolism is really cool. But yeah, the Garden of Gethsemane is
the
the
Garden of
place
Gethsemane.
of either crushed grapes or pressed grapes, something like that. But something to the effect of pressure being put down.
Yeah. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." And he took with him Peter and James and John, and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Even to death."
Wait, you skipped a little bit.
Did I really? Hold
Wait,
on. No,
go back to.
34?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry. Start over. I was skipping ahead. I was like, hold up. I saw "and he said," and I skipped down to 36, which also starts with "and he said." Sorry,
And he
go
said,
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. My soul is very sorrowful. No,
Sorry. Anyways, this part is really this is intense right here.
And going, goodness, and he took with him Peter, James, and John, and began to hold on, my boy, and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch." Verse 35. And going a little further, he fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, "Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I will, but you will." And he came and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Could you not watch 1 hour? Watch and pray, that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed, saying the same words. And again he came and found them sleeping, for the eyes were very heavy, and they did not know what to answer him. And he came the third time, and he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? It is enough, the hour has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayal is at hand. My betrayer is at hand." And immediately, while he was still speaking, Judas came, one of the 12, and with a crowd with swords and clubs from the priests and the scribes and the elders. Verse 44. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss the man. Seize him and lead him under guard."
The one I will kiss is the man. Yeah, he's saying obviously the one I embrace is Jesus. That's the one you want. Which is weird because it's like these guys still don't know which one he is. Technically, he has to point him out. If I'm getting this right, so it's like that's how like almost. I don't want to say this wrong. Maybe unrecognizable Jesus could have really been like
he blended in with the crowd
as a person.
So well.
Yeah, nothing about him really stuck out.
It's almost like he was created in the image of God, or I guess he is God and man. So for him to be look just like us, I mean, it kind of shows how much we are created in the image of God. Is what I was getting at. Yeah,
I mean, you think of that story, the one who they're at the healing pool or whatever, and the man wants to go and get healed. Well, Jesus heals him, and then just like that disappears, like into the crowd. And the man's like, he was just here. Because then the Pharisees show up and they're like, what do you mean? Who healed you? Like, that's no. you know. Anyways, he just like that can quickly disappear into a crowd. Pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Where are we at?
Yeah. I got you. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Seize him, lead him away under guard." Verse 45. And when he came, he went up to him at once and said, "Rabbi," and kissed him.
It was probably all loud about it too.
Yeah.
Rabbi, teacher. This is it.
This is the guy. You're the guy. You're the guy, teacher.
Yeah. Remember our handshake, Jesus? Hey. Anyways.
Man, this is getting intense. And they laid hands on him and seized him. But one of those who stood by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Jesus said to them, "Have you come out against a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? Day after day I was with you in the temple teaching. You did not seize me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled." And they all left him and fled.
That's interesting right there.
Let the scriptures be fulfilled.
Mm.
Jesus was like, "Hey, I know it's terrible. I know what I see. Jesus is literally going through the exactly, as this is saying, portrayed, he's getting captured, and Jesus goes, listen, it's part of scripture. I mean, this is supposed to happen.
Yeah. I just wonder what they were thinking when he said that. Like, let the scriptures be fulfilled. Like, wait, does he know all this is going to happen? Like, we're just playing right into his hands, Not that Jesus is trying to be all deceiving, but he's just like, this is what's supposed to happen. The Pharisees and these guards and everything think they're the ones in control, and it's just like, no, y'all are just playing it out like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So. And I love how in this part, I mean, one of those who stood by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest. Like, it's Peter.
Oh yeah,
it's Peter.
Sure.
And then
Mark didn't mention no names, but later on we find out.
I got you. And then this part, a young man followed him. He's always following behind Jesus. It's Peter. Peter's following close behind. But anyways, go ahead.
Absolutely. We'll continue on, brother. A young man followed him with nothing but a linen cloth about his body, and they seized him, but he left the linen cloth and ran away naked. He said, "Psych!"
Yeah.
And he got beat. I'm out, fam.
So much for ride or die, Peter.
Man.
Dang.
He said, "You could take that shirt. That ain't mine no more."
Mm-hmm.
Verse 53. And they led Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes came together, and Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest. And he was sitting with the guards and warming himself at the fire. Now the chief priest and the whole council were seeking testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they found none. For many bore false witness against him, but their testimonies did not agree. And some stood up and bore false witness against him, saying, "We heard him say, I will destroy the temple that is made with hands. And in 3 days I will build another, not made with hands." Woo! I got hairs going. 59. Yet, even about this testimony did not agree. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, "Have you no answer to make? What is this that these men testify against you?" Verse 61. But he remained silent and made no answer. Again, the high priest asked him, "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed?" And Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the power." and coming with the clouds of heaven. Verse 63. And the high priest tore his garments and said, What further witness do we need? You have heard this blasphemy. What is your decision? He got it all wrong. And they all condemned him as deserving death. And some began to spit on him and to cover his face and strike him, saying, Prophecy. And the guards received him with blows.
Prophesy.
Prophesy. My bad. Verse 66. You know what's going to happen, my boy.
Mm.
And as Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came, and seeing Peter warming himself, she looked at him and said, You were with Jesus, Nazarene, Jesus. But he denied it, saying, I neither know nor understand what you mean. And he went out into the gateway, and rooster crowed. And the servant girl saw him again and began again to say to the bystanders, This man is one of them. But again, he denied it. And after a little while, the bystanders again said to Peter, Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean. But he began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, I do not know of this man of whom you speak. And immediately, not in 30 minutes, immediately the rooster crowed a second time. And Peter remembered how Jesus had said to him, Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And he broke down and wept.
Mm.
Oh, son. I felt like we had that flashback moment. Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
Remember when rooster crowed and I was gone. I was kidding. That's that country song.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Mm.
You're using the vocal chords, though.
Yeah, I am, brother.
Hey! Son.
It's an old Southern gospel song.
Mm.
I'm just kidding. It's not. It is not at all.
You just made that up?
Well, the tune was definitely a country song.
I was like, what is this?
Hey, remember when? I think it's really called Remember When. But let me tell you, I remember when this changed my life, and it can change yours too. You know what I'm saying? That's facts, though.
Bruh. All right, chapter 15.
Can you take this one off?
I'll try my best, brother.
Brother, I think you got this.
All right. And as soon as it was morning, the chief priest held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, Are you the king of the Jews? And he answered him, You have said so. And the chief priest accused him of many things. And Pilate again asked him, Have you no answer to make? See how many charges they bring against you. But Jesus made no further answer, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the feast he used to release for them one prisoner for whom they asked. And among the rebels in prison who had committed murder in the insurrection, there was a man called Barabbas. And the crowd came up and began to ask Pilate to do as he usually did for them. And he answered them, saying, Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews? For he perceived that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered him up. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release for them Barabbas instead. And Pilate again said to them, Then what shall I do with the man you call the king of the Jews? And they cried out again, Crucify him. And Pilate said to them, Why? What evil has he done? But they shouted all the more, Crucify him. So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released for them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, he delivered them to be crucified. You notice that a lot of this, I was going to say this about last few verses we read a minute ago when he's
Yeah.
on trial. There's a lot of emotion going on.
Oh, for sure.
High emotions, high excitement. Like right here, they're persuading,
Yeah, persuading
persuading, or swaying
Pilate. Yeah.
Pilate by just screaming louder. Like, what has he done? Ah, who cares? Ah, just kill him because we said so. Like, dang, Pilate
And
is,
Pilate.
he's not necessarily innocent of anything here. He had the power, I think, to stop it. He just wanted to please him. But Pilate is kind of in the dark on some of this because I don't think, I've heard some say that he was just kind of the governor. He doesn't necessarily know about this until it was brought to him, necessarily. So, but anyways, verse 16, and the soldiers led him away inside the palace. That is the governor's headquarters, and they called together the whole battalion, and they clothed him in a purple cloak, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on him. And they began to salute him. Hail, hail, King of the Jews! And they were striking his head with a reed, and spitting on him, and kneeling down in homage to him. When they had mocked him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes on him, and they led him out to crucify him. And they compelled a passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus. Hey, I'm in the Bible.
Hey, you made it.
The father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross. And they brought him to the place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull. And they offered him
Yes.
wine. They offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him and divided his garments among them, casting lots for them to decide what each should take.
So I think we talked about this in Matthew about, or maybe we didn't, but that wine is it was wine mixed with myrrh, and it was meant. It was a sour wine, but it was meant to relieve the pain of crucifixion, which is crazy because Jesus said,
yeah, because he rejects it.
Yeah, he goes full bore, all or nothing basically, and he's going to take all of the pain.
Yeah,
not just a little bit of the pain. He's going to take all the pain, and then he takes death even.
Yeah, I remember. I think you were the one that mentioned that before because I hadn't really heard that before. So, just all the more pain and suffering that he endured. Yeah. So he did not take it. Sure. Yeah. They crucified him, divided his garments among them, casted lots. And it was the third hour when they crucified him, and the inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified two robbers, one on his right and one on the left. And those who passed by derided him, wagging their heads and saying, "Aha, you who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." So also the chief priest with the scribes mocked him to one another, saying, "He saved others, he cannot save himself. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also reviled him. I just wonder, let's say these scribes and everybody have it their way, and Jesus just comes jumping down off the cross right now. That would not have been as earth-shattering, literally, or miraculous as Jesus dying for 3 days.
And then coming back alive.
Yeah.
Because 3 days is more like not reasonable, but I mean, it's like you definitely did. The maggots are starting to peel out, eat on them.
Well, and, I mean, I guess even culture today, but culture then, they would, basically before actually burying somebody, they'd put them in a holding place for 3 days, and then on the fourth day, take them and bury them, because that's how they would know that they're actually dead. So Jesus rising, on that last day, like,
kind of signified
he was dead. Yeah, he was dead. The same with Lazarus. Jesus doesn't come until that third day.
So he's definitely raising the dead.
Yeah, people are like, "Dude, you could have been here. We know you could have helped him." And he's, obviously, or I say obviously, but we If you don't know how that story goes, look it up. But I believe we already talked about it in Matthew, but and in Mark, I guess.
For sure.
But yeah. So the ones who were crucified with him also reviled him. And when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? And some of the bystanders hearing it said, Behold, he is calling Elijah. And someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a reed, and gave it to him to drink, saying, Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. And Jesus uttered a loud cry and breathed his last, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom.
From top to bottom.
And when the centurion, who stood facing him, saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, Truly this man was the Son of God. There were also women looking on from a distance, among whom were Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James the younger, and of Joseph. I always forget how to say that name. And of Salome. When he was in Galilee, they followed him and ministered to him, and there were also many other women who came up with him to Jerusalem. Verse 42, and when evening had come, since it was the day of preparation, that is, the day of before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself looking for the kingdom of God, took courage and went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Pilate was surprised to hear that he should have already died. And summoning
About as bad as me.
Look, y'all, the way it's cut off on the page. Summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he was already dead. And when he learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the corpse to Joseph. Joseph bought a linen shroud, taking him down, wrapped him in the linen shroud, and laid him in a tomb that had been cut out of the rock. And he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of Joseph saw where he was laid. Why does that
Joseph
name?
is Joseph.
That's Joseph, right?
Yeah, that's Joseph. Yeah. Mary, the mother of Joseph. You're good. You was on it.
But it's spelled
definitely different.
Like
Joses.
It's weird. Anyways, boom! Fast forward. When the Sabbath was passed. Oh, chapter 16. Sorry. Oh, my bad. I guess I could let you read it.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead. You get the good part.
Oh, I get the awesome part. Yes. Chapter 16. When the Sabbath was passed, Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James. It might be James. Joseph. I think it is Joseph though. Mary, the mother of James, and Salome brought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very, very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. Oh, son, they went to the tomb.
They got to see what's up.
And they were saying to one another, who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance of the tomb? Because this was not a pebble. Okay, this was a stone.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson stone. Like, this thing was big. They needed a big man or multiple guards to help them. They're like, who's going to roll away the stone? We're going to need multiple people or something. Well, and looking up, they saw the stone had been rolled back. It was very large. We were just talking about this. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed in a white robe. And they were alarmed. And he said to them, do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him? But go, tell the disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you. Verse 8. And they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone. They were afraid. Ooh. Verse 9. Well, let me just include this real quick. Some of the earliest manuscripts do not include 16, chapter 16, 9 through 20. Verse 9. This is what they don't include in some manuscripts. Now, when he arose early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, from whom he had cast out 7 demons. So he had cast out 7 demons early on, and he appeared to her first. Did you hear that real quick? He appeared to her first.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this in Matthew about Jesus appearing to a woman. You know,
Yeah.
back in the times, that was not. You weren't. How do I say this? If a woman were to get the news and spread the news, it wasn't as believable as a man at this time.
Yeah, they basically had half the testimony of a man. So it took like 2 women to back up the same story to be that equivalent to that of a man.
Right, at this time. But Jesus came to her.
Yeah.
Verse 10, she went and told those who had been with him as they mourned and wept. Verse 11, but when they heard that he was alive and he had been seen by her, they would not believe it. After these things, he appeared in another form to 2 of them, and they were walking into the country. And they went back and told the rest, but they did not believe them. Verse 14, afterward he appeared to the 11 themselves as they were reclining at the table, and he rebuked them for their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they had. I would
He's
be too.
like, I told you I was coming back. Dang.
Y'all ain't believe me. I'm here now. Somebody get out the water.
Yeah.
Who want to feel of the holes in my hands? Speaking of holes in the hands, we'll continue on. And he said to them, go into the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. Verse 16, whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. For these signs will accompany those who believe in my name. All right. So those who believe in Jesus, these are the signs. He says, in my name they will cast out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up serpents with their hands. And if they drink any deadly poison, it will not hurt them. They will lay their hands on the sick, and they will recover. And them, the Lord Jesus, after he had spoken to them, was taken up into heaven and sat down at the right hand of God. And they went out and preached everywhere, while the Lord worked with them and confirmed the message by accompanying signs. That was it. That was all of Mark. We just finished up Mark. Oh my goodness, we made it.
Y'all ever thought about the fact that like the New Testament is still today?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like it just continued on into today. We're still living that Great Commission that's still issued to us as Christians. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. We've got just a few minutes left in this session. That being said, I'm going to start hopefully a new service here pretty soon that's going to start letting us stream to more things. Which blah blah blah, because I'm having to deal with basically 40-minute Zoom sessions. So, but either way, thank you guys for listening. Wesley, yes,
dude, thank you so much. I enjoy it. Alex, again, dude, awesome. You got an awesome thing going, and thank you so much for just putting in so much work to do a podcast and get it on the internet and reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Oh, it ain't much. That's cap. That is cap.
No,
oh my goodness. No, that's cap. That it is a lot of work, and I know you do a lot of things just to get this done. So thank you, Alex.
It's fun. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. Anyway,
it doesn't feel like work.
yeah. But again, thank you guys for joining. We've got a Facebook page, YouTube. Like I said, we're gonna get these back on Spotify here pretty soon, hopefully. And so there's a reason I started saying that again. Oh, if y'all have questions, you should be able to go on Facebook page and, at least for right now, get on there and send us any questions. Write in the comments. I'm going to go in and check from time to time, just see what y'all are saying. And so if y'all have any questions or maybe something we said wrong, I don't know. We're not perfect, But
for sure.
I was Googling, though. I think we Googled this before. Joseph is the son of Joseph. The same. So basically, one of Jesus' brothers, or half-brothers, I guess. Because he took the name from his father, Joseph. So
that makes more sense.
Joseph and Mary being Jesus' mother, also the son of mother of Joseph. Anyways, there you go. I feel like we Googled that before.
I think we have.
I think we did. So maybe next time we'll remember. But anyways, like I said, y'all, if we're messing anything up, just let us know.
Yes.
If not, we'll see y'all next time on The Grapevine.
Woo! We're through with Mark. We'll see you in the next chapter.
Which is?
Of The Grapevine. Brother?
Peace.